Why would that be? She's different from selling corporations. Was that you said they it just was, yeah. That's not gonna pay Someone said got to run or
I've got it ready to do it. Oh, yeah.
yeah, no joke.
At 7:06, may I have a motion to return from executive session, please?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to return from executive session at 7:06.
Do I have a second? Motion made by Ms. Flores, second by Mr. Lambert, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0 against. Okay, now we will proceed with public comments. At this time, any person wishing to address the city council on agenda or non-agenda items may do so. Speakers are requested to state their name and address for the record. Public comments are limited to 5 minutes per individual in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The city council may not deliberate or take action on any matter that is not posted on the agenda. However, the city council may direct staff to place the agenda on a future agenda for discussion or action, if appropriate. I also want to add, our code of ordinance for the city of Floresville, 31.62, citizens' right, section 2, personal and slanderous remarks. Any person making personal, impertinent, rude, impolite, disrespectful, respectful, or slanderous remarks, or who shall become noisy, barging, either while addressing the council or otherwise while in attendance at city council meetings, may be requested to leave the meeting pursuant to section 31.60 of these rules, and may be removed from the meeting if necessary for the conduct of the remainder of the meeting. Okay, we will start with the comments.
My name is Mia, and I am here because this city so insists
on treating serious cases in public safety, ethics, and basic transparency as closed matters when they are anything but that. I want y'all to ask yourselves, are y'all actually transparent or do y'all just pretend to be when it suits y'all? On January the 13th, 2026, Texas Ranger Thomas Elizondo closed case 2024-077-2329. The abuse of official capacity investigation into former Floresville police officer Seth McKinsey. The Wilson County Grand Jury had already returned a no bill, even though the report itself proved that Cantu lied on body cam to Chief Flores and lied directly to the ranger about the dispute. Apparently that was insufficient evidence for them. Just 5 days earlier, on January the 8th, this council rushed to settle Stefano's arbitration money. We converted his termination into a nice, quiet resignation and handed him thousands of dollars in taxpayer money. All while a criminal investigation into his use of city resources was still wide open. You cut a check before the ink was even dry on his case files, and that wasn't very smart of you. A non-bill on one narrow charge doesn't magically erase the pattern. It doesn't erase the marked unit, the emergency lights, a firearm in a personal dispute, or the dash cam footage that he turned off 6 times. The Floresville Police Department failed to disclose the full pattern of domestic violence and the sexual relationship with a minor. That began when she was 16. Those allegations were known to the department because I reported them. I gave supporting evidence, including the officer's own confession on tape. Yet it was conveniently omitted from the investigation to spare the protection charges. When family members on this council and in city leadership step in to downplay, deflect, or protect their own instead of demanding a full independent investigation, that's not ethics. That's nepotism wearing a city charter costume and a crossfit. Since my last attempt to speak during citizens' comments, several people have stepped forward, and this is a concern coming from far more than just one person, and it's far more than any of you even imagine. Public safety and accountability are not decorative agenda items. They're the difference between actually protecting your residents and quietly managing them into silence with another taxpayer-funded settlement that nobody out there is succeeding. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm simply demanding the same bare minimum standard every other resident is supposedly entitled to. Complete records, honest investigations, and consequences that don't evaporate at the sight of the last name. The people of Floresville deserve better than a city government that requires them to fight this hard just to be taken seriously. Silence is injustice, delay is unusual, and shielding the connected with lecturing the rest of us about ethics is invisible. So let me put the facts on the record since they keep getting misplaced for y'all. The investigation was deliberately narrow. The department failed to disclose the pattern of domestic violence and the sexual relationship with a minor from Floresville ISD. Material history was never fully shared with the Rangers. Public money was paid out while the criminal case was still open. Floresville Police Department withheld the allegations involving the minor and his own confession tape, and conflicts of interest remain totally unresolved here. If this council is truly serious about the state of the city, then transparency, ethics, and public safety can't mysteriously stop at the edge of one closed case and a quiet payout. Fix it. In the open. Not hidden in executive session where the public and the rest of us can't see or hear what anyone is doing.
Thank you. Moving on, do I have another citizen's comment, please?
Hello, Madam Mayor and council members, and all of Floresville staff and citizens. My name is Jessica K. Rodriguez Green, and I reside at 104 North First Street or 3360 County Road 104 in Floresville. I am a combat veteran, a mother, a realtor with RE/MAX Southern Estate Realty here in Poe, a small business owner, and I own multiple properties throughout the city of Floresville and Wilson County. I also operate a home design studio in Pleasanton, I'm creator of community projects for our seniors, and I proudly serve as vice president of the Crossing Cars and Veterans. I'm also a board member of the Floresville Lions Club and a member of the Wilson County Area Children's Foundation. I also had the privilege of serving this community as a Floresville City Council member. I stand before you tonight, not expecting perfection. Government is difficult and mistakes happen. But what our citizens deserve and what I expect is transparency, accountability, communication, and a shared vision for the future of Floresville. I'd like to begin with the C Street Bond project. This project was approved years before I even served on council through bond financing. Taxpayers continue paying interest on that debt whether the project is completed or not. Multiple phases have been completed. The engineering firm was terminated before the final phase, and today the public is being told there's no longer enough money to complete the project. The final phase was intended to replace aging cast iron water lines before reconstructing C Street in an entirety with new pavement, sidewalks, and bicycle lanes. My questions are going to be straightforward. What was the original bond amount? How much has been spent? How much remains? Which change orders were approved? And what caused the funding shortfall? What is the timeline to complete the project? If the city cannot provide a complete public accounting of those bond funds, I respectfully ask this council to consider an independent forensic audit so taxpayers can have confidence that every dollar is spent appropriately and for its intended purpose. I'd also like clarification regarding the May 28th council meeting. State Opens Meeting Act on page 27. The act authorizes a meeting by video conference call only if a full quorum of the governmental body is physically present at one location of the meeting. In that instance, the notice must specify that location as well as the intent to have a quorum present there. The location where the presiding member is physically present must be open to the public during the open portions of the meeting. Further, section 551-127 also requires the governmental body to make at least an audio recording of the meeting and make the recording available to the public. And the city has not posted the entire meeting online. In fact, they have cut it down when in comparison to the Wilson County news video. Our charter also clearly states 3 qualified members to the city council plus the mayor or mayor pro tem shall constitute a quorum to do business. Rules for online participation says a quorum must be present in person. Questions have been raised regarding whether business continued after the required quorum was no longer present. I respectfully ask the city attorney to explain on record how the charter's quorum requirement was satisfied during this meeting and to identify the legal authority relied upon to continue conducting business. I'd also appreciate an update on the city charter review, the comprehensive plan, the capital improvement plan, and the citizen advisory committees that were discussed as part of creating a long-term vision for Floresville. Growth is coming whether we're ready or not. We can't stop it, but we can shape it, guide it, and establish a vision that protects our community while making responsible use of taxpayer resources. Unfortunately, political division has brought much of that progress to a standstill. While we're divided, we're actively pushing away the very resources our community is desperately asking for: quality employers, healthcare, infrastructure investment, responsible development, housing opportunities, and economic growth that would benefit our families. Those aren't luxuries. They are essential needs for the majority of our residents. I'd also like an update on the city's grievance process. While I served on this council, we adopted that process with the intent of giving citizens and employees a fair, consistent, transparent way to address concerns. From what I continue to hear from residents, it appears that this process has not been implemented consistently or as originally intended. Can the council explain the current grievance procedure, how the public is informed of it, and what steps are being taken to ensure it is administered fairly and consistently for everyone? Finally, I encourage this council to begin discussing the possibility of single-member council districts, so every resident clearly knows who represents their neighborhood and who is accountable for responding to their concerns. Even after leaving office, residents continue reaching out to me, not because I hold title, but because they're searching for answers. That isn't a reflection of me, it's a reflection of the community that wants to be heard and deserves responsive government. I love Floresville. Can I please finish, Madam Mayor? Can I please finish, Madam Mayor? I don't have anything negative.
It's fine. It's 5 minutes.
Can someone finish for me then? I'll give you a copy.
Just give me a copy if you want.
Can someone finish for me then?
I'll be happy to read the rest of your comment.
I'll do it after.
Thank you.
I have no problem reading it.
Thank you.
My name is Juan Diaz, 1059 County Road 301, Floresville, Texas. I am the Vice President and Acting President of the Wilson County Adoption and Rescue Services here. I came in here with the intention that, with open mind, and I can see these two council members over here are the ones that seem that they care the most because they're paying attention. And then the other council members not paying attention as well, which is a lot of that. But I'll help her finish up her paper that she has here. Even after leaving office, residents continue to reach out to me, not because I hold a little bit, but because they're searching for answers. This isn't a reflection of me, it's a reflection of the community that wants to be heard and deserves responsive government. I love Floresville. I've invested my time, my business, my volunteer service, and my heart into this community because I believe in its people and its future. I'm not here to criticize the sake of criticizing. I'm here because I believe Floresville deserves better communication, better planning, better transparency, and better collaboration. Let's move on beyond division. Let's complete this project as promised.
Thank you.
Now, for our shelter, I'm resigning because the city has a budget for taxpayers for animal control. Animal control that seems to be lacking. A lot of it seems to be that the city wants to fall back, not use that budget, open back doors and utilize us to take care of the problem. It happens in the city first before the shelter. We help where we can, but let me know, so we took over an organization that was in financial ruin. Granted, we're still here because of our efforts that we're making. And we continue to move forward. We've been out here doing the best that we can. We're proud to do what we're doing. One of the reasons here is because the previous administration, obviously, like I said, we should accept the responsibility that belongs to animal control. They're creating unrealistic expectations that the shelter would always step in and perform duties that are city's responsibility. That expectation is simply not sustainable. Our current board inherited the organization's significant financial challenges. We made difficult decisions to restore financial stability while continuing to care for the animals already entrusted to us. That means focusing our limited resources on our mission while ensuring municipal responsibilities remain with the city, where taxpayer funding has already been allocated for these services. Unfortunately, because proper documentation was not maintained to the city and former administration of our organization, the 2025 numbers do not match between the city records and the records we inherited. As the current board, we can only work from information available to us. That is why accountability, proper record keeping, and clearly defined responsibilities are so important moving forward. We help whenever we can, but there are many times when we simply don't have the space, staff, or resources. When that happens, it's often because people have been directed to us for issues that should have been handled by animal control. I simply ask that the city's animal ordinance to be enforced, and that resource already budgeted for the animal services to be used for their intended purposes. Since the city's new administration took office, the property that occupied our organization has been a subject to repeated discussion and scrutiny. From those discussions, it appears the city is considering the future of that property. If that is the case, I respectfully ask that any conversation include not only the property's appraised value of approximately $158,000, but also the value it has generated for this community. The services provided to that property have exceeded its appraised value, and any decisions regarding that future should recognize the return it has already provided for the citizens and animals of this community. Livecar Services remains committed to being part within our communities. We have offered to collaborate with the city through our recently awarded spay neuter grant, which helps make low-cost spay neuter services available to residents. Through this program, where eligible pet owners can have their animals spayed and neutered for $50 for cats and $75 for dogs. In addition, we will be hosting a low-cost vaccination clinic on October 25th at East Animal Hospital to help make preventive veterinary care more accessible to our community. Children's Rescue should be partners with local government, not a substitute for it. We remain committed to service the community, and we simply ask that the city fulfill its responsibility it has already budgeted and entrusted to animal control.
Thank you. Moving on.
I'm just a simple. I apologize. I didn't
Good evening, my name is Robert McCain, and I reside in Wilson County. I'm a high school physics and chemistry teacher, and I own a small family business. On May 30th, I was operating under what I believed in what the city manager later confirmed was a valid City of Floresville vendor's permit. Within minutes, however, an officer ordered me to leave the city limits by the direction of Code Enforcement Officer Jacob Montoya, stating that my permit had been invalidated or revoked. I want to be candid about one fact. I initially set up a few hundred feet from the permitted address and offered to rectify this situation immediately by relocating to the correct address, which was about 400 feet away. So the goal was compliance. I offered an immediate response. It was refused. I was told repeatedly that the permit had been revoked and invalidated by Jacob Montoya, only to find later, assured by the city manager that my permit had never in fact been revoked or invalidated. I still possess the valid permits for operating as a small business in the city, registered and commercially licensed with the state as well. I was also told by the city's permit office that revoking vendor's permits requires due process, including the opportunity to appear before a municipal court judge. If my permit remained valid, why was the officer told that it had been invalidated by Mr. Montoya? If he had no authority to invalidate permits in the field, why was police action taken based on that misrepresentation? If my permit was still valid, why was I ordered to leave the city limits instead of simply relocating to the correct location? I also observed other vendors operating in the same area on numerous weekends prior to and since this incident. I would like to understand if there are actual written exemptions and ordinances, but I have not been able to find any. I do have a major concern beyond the actual permit and that isolated day, and that is the serious questions that arise from Jacob Montoya's false representations to the police department that resulted in actions being taken and misuse, in my opinion, of police resources. I have been submitting public information requests and laying patiently for answers. I followed the city's complaint process, but I still have not received a clear explanation of who authorized these actions to be taken against me that day and under what legal authority they were taken. Just to iterate, the harm did not just end on that day when I left. I spent approximately 30 minutes packing up while multiple police officers were surrounding me. To everyone watching, it appeared that I had done something seriously wrong, and for a small business owner in a small town, that could be a difficult thing to recover from. So it's more about just a vendor permit. It's about whether or not a city employee can exceed his authority, trigger police action against the citizen who is attempting to comply, and avoid accountability afterwards. Well, I understand there's no resolution to be sought here at this time. I'm simply asking the council to ensure that no city employee can misuse governmental authority or police resources without clear legal authority and meaningful accountability.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Lopez, and I reside at 901 B Street. I am the owner of Nutshell Gifts by Bell. I am new to selling. I don't own a brick and mortar shop, and I am a one-woman team. So far, I've sold at 2 community market events, just 2, and both of them were hosted by the market in Floresville at the event center. I was really excited to sell at the 4th of July event at the event center, again with the help of the market in Floresville. But then I decided against it when I heard the market was not going to host the vendors. The team who runs the market, they do an outstanding job. They really put me at ease as a new vendor. They were very organized, friendly, and very accommodating. And just FYI, they do require proper tax ID before we begin selling at their events. I believe that I speak for the other vendors when I say that we are all very pleased with the job that the market does on market days. On a personal note, I am a stay-at-home mom. I work in our kitchen table with my glue and my peanut shells while I take care of my son who's on the spectrum. Selling at the market days, don't laugh, it does give me the rare opportunity to socialize with other adults, rare opportunity. Make a few extra bucks so I can buy my son's plain cheese Whoppers at Burger King and his many, many, many cans of Play-Doh. But it also helps me practice and prepare to become a vendor for the Floresville Peanut Festival. Many may not be aware that Vanilla Moon, many of you may be aware that Vanilla Moon runs the market in Floresville. But what many of you may not be aware of are the charitable contributions that Vanilla Moon has made to the community, including to the South Elementary Campus School, the Food Pantry, Arcadia Theater, and Courage Ranch. I understand there are monetary concerns, logistical concerns, space, technical concerns that the city has about letting the market use the event center as well as the downtown area for market days. So I suggest that you actually communicate and utilize Vanilla Moon's impressive abilities in marketing, professionalism, and implementation. I do have faith that Vanilla Moon can provide the economic opportunities that will greatly benefit Floresville and the event center and downtown, what have you, maybe whatever's to come in the future, if you do work together and communicate clearly in a thorough and logical time. I ask that the established affairs should reach agreement with Vanilla Moon for a corporation and event center, just like I just said, in order to help the community enjoy successful market days while outside of the heat and the pouring rain. That's what I experienced in those 2 market days that I participated in, and perhaps even on the next 4th of July night, so that we can all enjoy the fireworks together. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any more comments? None?
Okay.
Mayor, I have a question. This is, I guess, for our city staff. So how are we supposed to hear citizen comments and provide guidance to put things on the agenda and provide direction for city staff since we've had our council comment ripped away from us? I mean, what are we supposed to do?
Councilmember Lambert, this would be the time that you can provide direction to city staff if you want to have an item listed on the agenda, or follow up with an email to city staff as well.
I have a question. I also want to thank everybody for being out here and asking the questions. And if any possible way that y'all can call me on any item that y'all spoke tonight about, you know, we're here to hear the citizens. That's why y'all put us here. That's why y'all elect us to be here. And my thing is, might not have all the answers to it, but, you know, sometimes they say, well, they won't put it on the council. Like the question y'all asked, you might not never hear an answer to it. But if you call me, possibility I'll put it on the agenda more, 99% of the time I'll put it on the agenda. So you can ask those questions directly and get the answers directly. That's the only way we're gonna, like right now, we can't answer you back because it's not on the agenda. But I wanna thank everybody for being involved and looking what's happening here with city council. I'm not saying taking from any of it, but y'all know who's here to help and who's here for themselves. I don't need to say, but sometimes it turns that way. It turns that way to say, hey, we're in control. There's no control. Everybody will tell me, who are you with? You're with Jake and Marisa? Who are you with? I'm here for the people of Floresville, the taxpayers. I just want to remind you of that. I voted this way, that way. I vote what my heart tells me where I can sleep with. If I can sleep good, and I still might have made a mistake, but I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and being involved. Stay involved and listen to what's going on, because May is coming pretty quick. And let's get 10 people on each seat, it doesn't matter. On my seat too, I don't have a problem. Like I say, people think that he's a little firecracker. You need one of those little firecrackers sometimes to mix the pot, you know, and put an extra seasoning in there. And that's me. I'm one, but I'll expose you when I feel that you're wrong. Thank you.
Also remember that the city manager has an open door policy. If anybody has any questions or wants answers, you can come by or set up an appointment with our city manager.
Madam Mayor, I have a question for the city attorney.
I don't think you can do that, not right now. Like I said, you can email him
But it's
or-
in regards to what y'all keep saying about not being able to, like, restricting our speech.
No,
The Marriott versus City of Bossier City, which restricts that speech, it was overturned. It doesn't apply.
do I have any more, moving on to item 6, consent agenda. All item agendas below are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of the item unless a council member requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence. Approval of the consent agenda authorizes the city manager to implement each item in accordance with staff recommendations. Item A, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve meeting minutes for July the 8th, 2026. Comments? Any comments? Council? Motion?
Mayor, I'm gonna make a motion to table the meeting minutes for July 8th, 2026. The formatting on this is wrong. I mean, it's just, I don't know how to say it, but, and I'll, I think the city secretary knows the names on here are kind of jumbled. So it says like Cantu, Mario, so we're all kind of jumbled. I would like those on one line item so it's clear, who we are and how we voted. So I'm gonna table it to the next council meeting, which is August 12th.
Do I have a second on that? Motion made by, Mrs. Flores, second by Ms. Barrera Cantu. Do I have any comments from the council? All in favor? Motion passes 5-4, 0 against. Moving on to new business, item A, can I take no action and put it on next week's agenda? Do we have to take a vote on that? Put it on, we'll table it for our next meeting. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion for?
I'll make a motion to table, the proclamation 2026-019 Martha Martinez to the August 12th meeting.
Do I have a second? Motion made by Ms. Flores, second by Barrera Cantu, all in favor? I'm sorry, do I have any comments from the council? No, all in favor? Motion passes 5-4, 0 against. Moving on to item B, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve a street closure starting on 8th Street and 8th Street and ending in front of City Hall for a prayer walk on August the 8th, 2026, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mayor Pro Tem Flores?
Mayor, Council, if I may, I did receive an email from Mr. Brooks. He would like to reschedule this and make some changes so we can.
Right, I'd like to invite Pastor Walter Lamar Brooks up, and he can tell us a little bit about his intention for the prayer walk, and just talk about it a little bit.
Yes, my name is Mr. Walter Lamar Brooks. I'm from the Building Life Ministries out of San Antonio, Texas, but I've been a long-time resident here. I was thinking about making some changes because we're talking about August 8th, where even at 8 o'clock it's a little bit hot, right? And I had to make some accommodations and do something so I could be able to maybe in a month or a couple of months later, just because for potential issues as far as heat stroke and things of that nature. So I wanted to be able to try to do this on September the 12th, but I want to give you a little bit of background of how everything is coming. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Mr. Walter Lamar Brooks. Mayor, you know that this journey began simply for a phone call last year. And I asked to come and pray in the city chambers and pray over our city and its leaders. You graciously opened those doors, and because of that act of kindness, our first unity in community prayer was gathered again right here. The Bible says in 1 Timothy 1 and 2, that we are to offer supplication, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving for kings and all who are in authority, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, that Scripture has been the foundation of everything we've done. From there, was used to be able to use the Floresville Event Center throughout 2025. We gathered quarterly to pray for our first responders, our mayor, city council, law enforcement, firefighters, schools, businesses, churches, and the people of Floresville. Our purpose never been political. Our purpose simply has been to unite believers in praying blessings, wisdom, peace, protection, and prosperity over our community. We have believed from the beginning that Floresville could become a model of unity for surrounding communities and a place where churches work together and where prayer strengthens the foundation of our city. When we attempted to reserve the event center in 2026, we discovered every weekend had already been booked except for Father's Day weekend. While I was initially disappointed, I believe that God was redirecting us rather than closing a door. Instead of gathering in one building, we began to start taking our prayer to the churches that faithfully stood with us. I want to recognize these people. Andrew Michaud, Floresville Christian Fellowship under Pastor Benny Herrera and Pastor Jeanette Herrera. Haven Oaks Community Bible Church under Pastor Ray Warren in Southern Springs, Texas. Pastor DeVos and the congregation of Pope, Texas. Along with faithful believers from Greater Bethel and others who have volunteered their time, prayed faithfully, and served the vision. Each of these churches have labored with us, and we are grateful for their partnership. I also want to be able to recognize Pastor Walter Williams out of Hebron and St. Hedwig. As we continue praying for Floresville, we also encourage things happening encouragement throughout the community. We've seen the event center thriving with a full schedule of events. We witnessed a successful 4th of July celebration that brought families together. My own children greatly enjoyed it, even though it was so hot, they didn't care. And after living here many years, it was my first opportunity to attend. We've also seen the additional public transportation that the city's new bus service, which I believe will be a tremendous blessing to many residents. We've watched new businesses and organizations investing in our downtown area, bringing renewed life and opportunity. These are encouraging signs, and we simply want to continue praying that God will bless the work already being done by the city and everyone serving here. That brings us to today. We would like to request an approval to hold our unity and community prayer walk on Saturday, September 12th at 8 a.m. Our gathering point will be the City Hall. From there, participants will divide in 4 prayer teams, each assigned to a section of downtown. Each team will receive specific prayer points, scriptures, and declarations as they walk their assigned streets. Our goal is to pray for our businesses, pray for our schools, pray for our families, first responders, elected officials, and our churches, to pray for every person who lives, works, and visits our city. As Scripture says in Jeremiah 29:7, seek peace, seek the peace of prosperity of the city. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. When each team has completed their assignment, we will return here, right here in front of the City Hall together. We will close in prayer covering city and its leadership, thanking God for his continued blessings and asking for wisdom, protection, unity, and peace over Floresville. Following closing the prayer, we also will offer a drive-through prayer for all residents who desires. Personal prayer regarding church's affiliation is welcome. Pastors and ministers will be available and individuals, families who are requesting it. And right now, I'm working on people to be able to come when it comes to the heat and things of that nature, to be able to assist us in nursing it, EMTs or things of that nature that come through. If something was to happen, I have those people in place. One of the people that said he would like to do it was DJ Ortiz. So I'm continuing to move forward in this, and if this is one of the things that would allow me to do, I believe it will be a great blessing for the city of Floresville.
Thank you so much. So while I understand that the date has changed, but I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and approve the street closures for a prayer walk on September the 7th, starting from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., correct?
September the 12th.
I'm sorry, September 12th, yes.
Oh, and also, if you would like, I have an actual flyer. So if y'all want to start to get those and print those things out, I have these ready and available.
Yes. You'll go ahead and just make sure you're in.
Mayor Pro Tem, is that a motion or?
Yes, it's a motion.
Can you repeat the motion?
I'm sorry, motion to approve the street closure for a prayer walk on September the 12th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
With street closures on,
Starting on 8th Street and A Street and ending in front of City Hall. Is that?
No, I sent you the email, and it's actually going to be a lot different from what I've actually posted, because I also was taking into consideration the fact that we have people that may not be able to walk that far. So when I was actually going from C Street, going around and doing that, it was 1.2 miles. But then after talking to my wife and delivering with that, that may be a little bit, for people who want to be able to do that.
I'll tell you what, why don't we table it till we have the plan finalized?
Yes.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to table the street closures on September the 12th regarding the prayer walk, and we'll table it August 12th.
no. We're going to, oh, okay.
Yes.
But we're gonna table this item, consideration, for August the 8th, and then, we schedule it for, put it back on the agenda with the correct street closures on.
That'll work, yes.
Okay.
And I just want to let everybody know that I know there's a lot of things going on here in Floresville, and sometimes things gotta blow up a little bit for things to get right. So I'm gonna continue to pray, continue to work on these things and on my end, and then do the possible work to be able to get Floresville going in the right direction.
Thank you so
Amen.
much. Do I have a motion made by Ms. Ford? Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Barrera Cruz. Do I have any comments from our council? All in favor? Motion passes 5-4, 0 against.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 7C. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve the Wilson County Senior Meals Program request to use the Bill Warehouse facility at no cost. Veronica.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for having me here. My name is Veronica Ramadiaga, and I'm here on behalf of the Wilson County Senior Citizens. And I am here to ask for next week, which is Tuesday the 28th through Thursday the 30th, if we could possibly use the beer warehouse. We normally have our hours from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the Wilson County Expo Center. Unfortunately, it's being used for some training, so we have no place to go. So I'm asking on behalf of our senior citizens that we could utilize the beer warehouse so we can still continue our socialization our hot free meals for the seniors, and then also, of course, Domino's and bingo as well. And that's our request. I also welcome any of city council and the mayor as well. You're welcome to join us on that meeting if we do get this approved.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
Mayor, before we make a motion, can we ask, is it available, do we know?
Yes, it is available.
Okay. All right, Mayor, then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the Wilson County Senior Meals Program, request to use the beer warehouse facility at no cost from July 28th through July 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Francis, second by, Ms. Dora Barrera Cantu. Yes, you may have the floor. Go ahead.
Is it okay, they have a lot of rock there to pull the wheelchairs around? Would it be more convenient to use the civic center, or the civic center being used? I know that there's been parts that, I know that, what do you call it, the nursing home down the road has used it before and kind of put the dividers just like from the kitchen this way to find the side of the, beer warehouse versus the AC work and everything, but I don't know if they have somebody in there, they're gonna be, I don't see why it's more convenient to drive them up to the front door of the civic center. But it's just an idea versus the beer warehouse. I know the beer warehouse is more wooden floors, and I know they have a ramp, I think they have a ramp, but it'd be more convenient, but, I mean, I understand that it's free, and I know that it's all about money, but sometimes it's about the community, it's about the seniors, and I've seen it done before at the civic center, so it was just something that I would want to do.
Go ahead. Thank you, Councilman, that's a great suggestion. I would have to go back and look at our reservation list. I do not know if we have availability during that time, so I can go back and confirm and see what that looks like.
Just double checking, I mean, I'm not saying that, I mean, the AC is running, everything's running, there's people there every day, and versus the little buses can pull over to the front, maybe if I get to a certain section, it'll be cleaned up, I mean, we need volunteers, we can probably find somebody that wanna clean it up or whatever, I mean, it's just a suggestion, because it's like sometimes we say, this civic center is to make money, and it's not always about money, it's about our community. What are we gonna give back to the community? The community already paid taxes on their property, taxes on everything, and then I understand we can't give everything for free, but this is something like an emergency that, I know you're usually over there at the show barn, but just something to look into, and if nothing else, I'm all for
I appreciate that.
I'm all for the, you know, what do you call it, the beer warehouse? We can make a motion with that, with maybe updating and saying, because it's what, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, what was it? If you need it for?
We just need it for, because we have nowhere else to meet.
Yeah, but what days were there, during the week?
Tuesday the 28th through Thursday the 30th. It would be from 8:30
I
a.m.
mean,
to 1:30 p.m.
I'm not at the civic center, but a lot of times, I know that during the day, we can have the other side, or we can not have it, but, you know, quarterly or whatever, you know, just a section, but.
Yes, and we're open. We just would like for our seniors to have that continued socialization. I know that, and I'm gonna brag on Jake a little bit because he's a great bingo caller. And, you know, we welcome him, he's in the country, and we welcome all of city council. Y'all have helped us in the past. We just want to not have, our seniors not have a place to have a socialization or their hot meals.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. Ms. Dion, want to?
Mayor, can I amend my motion?
Yes, of course.
It looks like we do have a reservation, I'm just trying to get clarification, but I see a reservation from the 27th, right now, just through August 1st, for multiple different reservations.
Okay.
So we have
Well, I was just gonna amend my motion to be either or,
either or, yes.
so I'll do that. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the Wilson County Senior Meal Program request to use the beer warehouse or the event center facility at no cost from July 28th through July 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Okay, motion made by Ms. Flores, second by Ms. Barrera Cantu. All in favor? Motion passes 5-4-0 against.
Thank you all.
Item 7D, consideration, discussion, and possible action to file and accept the 2024-2025 City of Floresville audit.
Good point. Evening, Council. I'm going to just go over some of the highlights of this audit report. We met with the audit committee yesterday.
Can you have your name, please?
My name is Robert Carter with Leon and Carter. On page 1 is the auditor's report. The second paragraph is our opinion. It's a clean opinion where financial statements are fairly stated in accordance with U.S. accounting principles. We had no exceptions for fiscal year 20. Pages 9 and 10 is the city's balance sheet. This is the consolidated balance sheet, is on the required government-wide basis of accounting. It's a full accounting. On page 9 is the primary government. This is your governmental activities and your business type activities. The governmental activities are your general fund, your capital project, debt service, and special revenue funds. The business type is the utility funds. And on page 10, up on the component units, the 4A and 4B. We don't audit Phelps, but since you guys are the main joint venture with Phelps, you do have to put them on the financial statements. They're audited by another firm, but we are required to disclose it. I'm going to start with the primary government first. So for fiscal year 25, on the far right is the total column. The total assets were $95.9 million. The deferred outflows, these are prepayments into the pension plan. There were $463,000. The liabilities were $31 million. Inflows are additional accrued expenses into your pension fund. There were $150,000. The result of applying these assets against the liabilities is a category in the net position. This is your equity, which was $65.2 million. 4A, total assets were $1.5 million. Prepayments into the pension plan were $9,400. The liabilities were $528,000. Additional accrued expenses into the pension plan were $2,000. Total equity is $992,000. 4B, assets are $6.2 million. Repayments into the pension plan were $12,800. The liabilities are $2.8 million. Accrued expenses into the pension plan were $2,100. For resulting net equity is $3.4 million. Page 11 and 12 is the consolidated income statement. Again, this is on the required government-wide full basis of accounting. On page 11, on the first column, are expenses. I'm going to go with the primary government, that's the governmental activities and business activities first. For fiscal year 25, you had total expenses of $14.7 million. Next column over, your program revenues were $7 million. Your operating grants and contributions were $822,000. Page 12 is the middle of the page under the total column. Under general revenues, these are the property taxes, sales taxes, franchise taxes, hotel taxes, investment earnings, and then the share of the Phelps earnings. Those are $14 million. When you apply the expenses against the program revenues and general revenues, category right under that, it's a change in net position. It's a surplus for the year of $7 million. And again, this is on a full accrual basis. As I mentioned yesterday, if you go back to the balance sheet, page 9. city's in good financial health. We have well over a 2-to-1 ratio between your assets and your liabilities. And that's always, that's a good ratio to have for the city government. As I mentioned, you know, when your bond rating between Standard & Poor's and Moody's comes out, you get obviously an increase in your rates. That's a good ratio to have. As far as working capital, that's another measure I'll look at. You know, besides the capital projects, city is running around 12 million in the government activities, and you got 12 million in cash, so that's well over 3 months of working capital, so that's also a good indicator of financial health. So like I said, overall, you guys are good financial health. That concludes the presentation. I'll open up to any questions you might have.
Do I have any questions from the council?
I don't know if you did hear him, that yesterday we did have the meeting with the audit committee. We did have 4 out of the 6 members that were appointed show up. And again, it was a detailed meeting for them.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve this?
I do have a question. So the audit committee, do they vote to approve?
No, it's just, they were able to ask whatever questions they needed to ask, any clarity. It was more detailed than of course, because it's just presenting it to you all. If you have questions, I'll send you who showed up and you can reach
Or
out.
just what kind of questions they asked, I would like to know.
I had to step out for part of the meeting, for another meeting, so,
Okay.
but I mean, I can send an email, it was
Yeah.
recorded, so I can, oh, I'm sorry, part of the meeting was recorded, but I'll get the questions and I can get them sent out to you all with the answers. Mhm.
Have any more questions? No? Do I have any comments from anyone? Madam Motion?
Yes, Mayor, I'll make a motion for, consider discussion and possible action to file and accept the 2024-2025 City of Floresville audit report.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Motion made by Ms. Lambert, second by Mr. Morales. All in favor? Five, 4-0.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to accept the City of Floresville Hotel occupancy tax HOT reimbursement policy.
I presented this before, brought it back to make some adjustments. Again, this is for the hotel occupancy tax reimbursement policy. And in the past, we have not had a policy. It was just an application with some notes on there, but there was not a formal policy. So I'm bringing before you the policy along with the application and reimbursement form.
Do I have a motion? Or any citizens' comments or council comments?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the City of Floresville hotel occupancy tax reimbursement policy.
Do I have a second?
Motion.
A motion made by Ms. Forrest, second by Mr. Campbell, all in favor? Motion passes 5-4, against.
Thank you.
Item F, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve Southern Trustless Buy Board number 730-24 quote in the amount of $272,569 and authorize the city manager to execute all related documents.
This request seeks funding authorization of amount of $272,569 for the Gloria Road wastewater pipe bursting project. This project will replace approximately 1,015 linear feet of existing 15-inch wastewater main with an 18-inch main and rehabilitates 6 existing manholes. This project is a necessary first step in addressing current wastewater capacity limitations, improving system reliability, accommodating both existing demand and future growth and development. Approval will allow the city to move forward with the planning, procurement, and construction of the Southern Trenches and the Board contract 730-24.
Thank you. Do you have any questions or comments from our council or citizens? No?
So just to repeat what you said, this is going to be paid out of the 2026 bonds?
Correct.
Okay, see, I mean, yes.
That's it? Okay, do I have a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve Southern Trenchless Pipe Board number 730-24 quote in the amount of $272,569 and authorize the city manager to execute all related documents.
Do I have a second? Motion made by Ms. Flores, second by Ms. Barrera Cantu, all in favor? Motion passes 5-4-0. Thank you, Mr. Munoz. And Dave. Item G, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve a contract for the services with McGuire Water for the city of Floresville Hospital's our Pier 250 MG proposal cost in the amount of $130,266 and authorize the city manager to execute all related documents.
Mayor and members of the council, we're going to ask that this be tabled this time. The amount of $130,266 is incorrect. The amount is actually higher. It's going to be a 3-year contract. It'll be $500,000, but we'll bring that back with the corrected caption at the next meeting. So at this point, we ask for it to be tabled.
Okay. Do I have a motion to table this?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to table, possible action to approve a contract for services with McGuire Water for the city of Floresville, Hospital Pier, 250 MG, proposal cost, and table to August 12th meeting.
A second. Motion made by Ms. Flores, second by Barrera Cantu, all in favor? Motion passes 5-4-0. Item 8, consideration, discussion, and possible action to appoint 3 new members to the 4A board to include or appointment of current members, appointment to fill vacancies or replace existing members, Parks and Recreation.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. Today I am requesting the City Council appoint 3 qualified individuals to serve on the Floresville 4A Coordination Board and to fill these current vacancies so that we are able to have a intended membership and complete quorum for our available meetings. And I will get to you all.
I just want to say, are we gonna pick one, like we usually do it out of courtesy, or it's not a courtesy because it's still gotta be voted like y'all said, but I know my, appointment that I had there was Billy Herrera, and he resigned, so that was my member. So I don't know how you're gonna pick, we already have somebody already picked and ready to go. I don't know, and this is new to me, so, on this week, so I had to look for someone that would wanna be on the 4A board. If it's gonna be the way we would pick it, so it's up to y'all, I mean, that's your kind of what y'all want.
Correct. So the policy states that each one of you would get a member, and then you would have a council-wide member. On the 4A board, they only have a 5-member board, so in order to do that, we have to amend the bylaws and bring that, they have to approve the amendment of the bylaws. We bring that back to you for approval, and then council can appoint the other 2 members if you so choose. You can also exercise the option to keep it at a 5-member board, and you vote council-wide for those 3 appointments.
It kind of should be like the 5 to 6 with, well, one of them don't vote, I guess. It'd be odd. Whatever suggestion, but my thing is for me to have a member. That's the only concern, but we can,
Does anybody have a member within there? So we can move on with,
Currently, we don't have enough members to make a quorum in order to conduct 4A meetings. So we would need, I believe, 2 members to be appointed out of the 3.
I have to look for mine. I mean, you're gonna give me the opportunity to pick one, we still have to wait till the next meeting, maybe possibly.
Correct.
Yeah, I think my biggest deal is that, we're not consistent, we have the FEDC board where everybody gets a vote, and now we're gonna move to 4A board where now it's a council-wide vote, so it gets very confusing up here. So I don't have a person, because I didn't even know about this, so is there a possibility that we could table this item, bring it back, gives us some time to at least think about it, or maybe the rest of the council has one, want to vote it out anyway, so, we'll just go.
If you so choose, we can bring it back in the August meeting. We just have to make sure that we would have a special meeting of the 4A once they're appointed, to make sure that we are following what their requirements are for meetings under the 4A Corporation Board. But you can't take it until the next meeting.
so, are we gonna do the policy again, or?
Mayor, council members, what is being brought to you to clarify, Councilmember Lambert and Councilmember Morales, in terms of bringing your own appointments. Right now, the 4A board, their bylaws are not consistent with the policy that you all have adopted. So you do need to appoint at least one more member so that then they can amend their bylaws to have a 7-member board, and then you can have all of your appointments. You can reappoint the 3 so that they can have a quorum, or you can just appoint everyone. But right now, they cannot conduct business because they can't make quorum in order to revise their bylaws to go up to the 7-member board that then coincides with the policy of having 7-member boards.
It kind of gets confusing with me because it's like the boards, the different boards are different, like, I guess there's policy, but I haven't seen the policy, or it confuses me because.
I don't think we voted for a policy. I don't even think we voted for a policy.
I don't believe so, that's what I'm saying, we're kind of, in my opinion, we're kind of just going as, oh, whatever they want to do, go ahead. But just like, I guess we can talk about the FEDC what's coming up here in a minute, but, it's confusing because, I mean, it's not a courtesy anyways. It still takes the majority of the council. So we don't adopt that, so why is that not in the adoption, or can we put that in the adoption to where, on a policy that if we pick someone, that's what we're gonna pick, not the majority, if we're changing policy. I mean, we're changing policy as it fits to some council. That's my understanding, but I'm asking you as a legal, okay, we're gonna come in here and say, okay, well, we're gonna do this rule for it. Well, my thing, we're gonna do the rule and say, okay, if we can change that rule, we can change the rule and say, you know what, it's the courtesy, or we can't do that because of what the state says or whatever, because.
Correct, sir. So what we can do is, on the legal side of it, we can provide you the backup documentation for you at the next meeting when you choose to table this item. Just please understand that the 4A board will not be able to conduct your business until that is taken care of by the city council. So we can definitely bring back, the policy that has been adopted and also the reasoning again on the economic boards and why it has to be everybody on council because of state statute, and we can provide you that information.
It's really confusing, and I know that the only reason we having these 4A board members is because we owe the what do you call it? The bond, the bond. So, because it comes down to if so-and-so says, we're gonna do that over here, we're gonna do it anyway. And it shouldn't be like that because, and that's one of the reasons the board don't wanna be on board, because they overstep their boundaries, and they're gonna do whatever they want anyway, they don't even let us, and that is not right. And that's why nobody wants to be involved with these boards, because if you don't do what we say, you're gone, or they get discouraged when they have an idea. Mine left, because he had ideas, and they just weren't listening. You know, and it's sad that people out in the community wanna make a difference, and then they cut their wings and say, no, we're gonna do it this way. You know, we're gonna get a board, let's get the board. Like right now, it doesn't matter, in paper, it doesn't matter if we need the member. But it doesn't matter because in control, the control is around here. And we're gonna tell the members what to do. It shouldn't be that way. They shouldn't be intimidated to say, hey, you know what, they're putting pressure on me. There's people that wanna quit on some of these other boards already. The people that they put on me with me and said, you know what, Mario, they want it this way, they want it that way, they don't listen. So, and it's the same thing with the council. I don't wanna run because it's just politics. But my thing is, I make a motion to table this, what item is it? 7H? Make a motion to table 7H.
Do I have a second?
Mayor, I have a comment.
August 12th, sir, to the August 12th meeting.
That's fine, we can discuss more on it. Maybe we'll have somebody, go ahead, you can comment on it.
Yes, I do. Yeah, you bring up a great point. There's a reason why our members that we're appointing are getting off these boards. And it's for the lack of consistency, the deterioration of our council up here, because we're the forefront of this. So it makes sense why people are getting off. I am having problems trying to find people to get on. And that's sad, because back in the day, when there was consistency, when people were honest with integrity, you could go out on the street right now and find people applying. So that's one comment. Another comment that I have is, you know, I was looking over our policy, and this goes to legal. Have you reviewed our EDC policy? I don't know if it's 100% concurrent with the way we elect, but I would like to read something to you, and maybe you can correct me and give me some type of direction. Policy. So this one comes to appointments. Let me find it real quick.
And is this for 4A?
I believe it's just a question regarding EDC and 4A. So essentially the gist of it is that when we go to vote, does it always have to be at large? Because the policy states that you have 6 members at large, that each council gets to appoint 1, and then that 7th member is an at-large vote.
We're doing 4A, we're not
Gotcha.
doing it.
Okay. Gotcha. I'll bring it up next time.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's coming up. So Mario, you wanna table it? Do I have a second? Table item 7H?
You know, Mayor, I'd like to make a comment. You know, I hear all this rhetoric going on about it's us against them, but it was just a year ago that everything was hunky-dory. Now the times have changed, and everything's going to jump in the handbasket. I don't know what you guys are trying to say.
Well,
Well, you know what I'm talking about, right?
You see, that's the problem with you.
No, that's the
I
problem.
agree. That's the problem.
We did that, we put up with that for a year, sir. A year. All you gotta do is look right and show it.
you're wrong. We're not having it. Did it again. I like when you did it. I love it. And the people out there,
There is no second. If you want to continue the discussion, it needs to be seconded.
Mother, you made a motion to table this, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by, Mr. Lambert. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Thompson, if you can.
you done. I wanna say something. I want the floor. Mayor, may I please have the floor? Thank you. You know, he says this, I don't know what he's talking about, but he's saying that everything was hunky-dory. I don't know what the hunky-dory, there's nothing that's in it. I'm responding to what he told me, and I take it offense because he's saying that he goes out there and said, no, we're not getting out of order. I'm answering, he's calling me hunky-dory. It ain't no hunky-dory. My thing is, he's trying to tell me that when there was control, there was never control. I voted against this side, that side, I voted with the
Point
heart.
of order, Mayor, back to the agenda item, I want to stick to the agenda item. I believe we have a motion and a
I'm
second.
speaking still, Francis. I'm speaking. Well, what do you? Go ahead, Sabi, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm done. Done. But you know what? It is wrong when they want to show their power, but I'm hoping that out there, that the people, well, I don't care, I want the people out there that see, no, there's no out of order. There's no out of order. There's no out of order when the people need to know what's going on. There's no hunky-dory here, whatever you call it. You never talk and now you want to talk hunky-dory.
All in favor? To table this item, or?
Boris, now you see the problem.
Yes, sir.
There was 3 votes. To table this item. Yes, motion passes 5-0. We will table it. 5-4-0. Item I.
That was no
Consideration,
call for it.
discussion, and possible action to approve the care program. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve the community to care program.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. We're here today to continue with the leadership program. This is something that,
Can you speak up a little louder, sir?
So what we have for you is going to be the leadership program. This is for our senior citizens to assist them in maintaining their properties when they receive code violation letters. A lot of times when we receive, they receive those letters, they come to us and address it because of the condition, the financial status, they don't have the means to be able to have lawnmowers or equipment for the maintenance of their property. So we're here to use the community check program that would allow us to provide those means for them. We can provide for citizens equipment, lawnmowers, weed eaters,
the other essentials, garden tools for them to be able to clean the property as they need to comply with the requirements. Some of the issues was various violations. We do have budgeted for that, but we will be looking into maybe running groups or going to different businesses to see if there's something that they can assist with. Gardening stores, organizations that can assist either by providing us donating equipment or providing us funds for this. We have allocated some money for this. We are ready for that approval. We do recommend approval for this by council. It's something that will assist the citizens in the needs that they have in reference to having equipment available for them to work on the properties and properly maintain them.
Well, Mr. Martinez, I want to thank you and the city manager as well for supplying this community tool shed program. It's going to be a big help for the people that do not have lawnmowers or that are unable to do their lot. Some of the family members can come, and that will be signing out the equipment.
Yes, ma'am. So the equipment will be available to the permit department. We will have registrations for them to come in and obtain those equipment, either through us or Parks Department or Public Works Department, or mostly through our department. We have those equipment. We will be making inspections of the equipment before they're handed out. We will test them before then after we return sent to the very working condition.
And we will supply the gas if they're gas lawnmower, and we'll supply the maintenance.
Yes, everything will be provided to them, gas, the equipment, the wood chippers, with the strings available, everything will be provided.
Thank you so much. Do I have a motion for this?
Mayor,
Yes.
I have questions.
Go ahead.
Mr. Martinez, just a couple of questions. Is this a piloted program or is this a program in full?
This is trying to implement, this is trying to implement this.
Okay. And then, so I saw your proposal and where you laid everything out. I guess my one question is, if for something, if a piece of equipment is not returned or not replaced, do we have something in place to help with that? Or how do we enforce that if things are not being replaced?
And we'll be working on the policies and the procedure for the department, but we will try to assist as possible.
Mayor Pro Tem, on the program, you have to be a resident, you have to show proof of residency, you have to provide your driver's license or a government issued ID in order to borrow that information or that piece of equipment. We allow you to use it for 48 hours and return it. If you don't return it, we have your information, so that way, the police report can at least be filed. We are working with local businesses for sponsorship on the program as well, in case, items break or things of that nature, or, somebody just doesn't return it. So it's not a recurring charge for the city. We're looking for community support as well. That's what we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
So who's responsible for the equipment? Will it be the property owner, or will it be maybe a volunteer who goes to do the work for them?
No, this is for the citizens. If they're needing the equipment, they will be the ones responsible for that. They will be the ones applying, requesting that equipment.
Checking it out.
Yes.
Mayor, I have a question. Do we have an anticipated cost, for maintenance, equipment maintenance, cost of, buying the equipment? Are we gonna get sponsorships to buy the equipment? Where's the money gonna come from out of the budget if we have to buy it? What are we doing?
There was a preliminary figure that was provided to you. It's around $70,000 to $20,000. That's getting all the equipment, multiple more, all the equipment that are required. Tool shed that will be used to store that equipment. It's been provided as part of the preliminary numbers. Of course, as days go by, our prices change, but there's team and the monthly budgeted already for that. So I need to see.
will there be, mandatory safety trainings before the use of the equipment, because we're held liable?
Yes, there'll be, we're working on documentation on life experiences and all that. So the citizens will have to sign waivers, with the point of the, so
Will these lawnmowers be riding lawnmowers or not riding lawnmowers? You have to be 16 years or older to be able to rent the equipment?
yes, this is for, senior citizens.
Okay.
For the moment.
Gotcha, thank you.
Go ahead, I just want to make one statement. If passed, we will be looking for sponsorship, donations. We just needed to green light that, yes, we can go on with this program.
Do I have a motion to pass, to move on with this item?
I make a motion to approve the community tool shed program.
Do I have a second? Motion made by Ms. Barbara Cantu, second by Mr. Lambert. All in favor? Motion passes by 4-0. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve authorizing to issue, authorization to issue request for proposal for administrative services and request for qualifications for engineering service for application preparation, submission, and implementation services for community development block grant of mitigation reallocation program funds and administered by the Texas General Land Office. Mr. Munoz.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. This is a request for us to begin the process for an application to the General Land Office for a mitigation grant. Basically, mitigation grant is for flood and drainage areas where we have problems. We need to go out for RFQ and RFP once again. Typically, we would handle this under a master services agreement with GrantWorks. However, the funding agency does require that you go out and redo all of this as a separate entity outside of existing master services agreements. So we'd like to begin the process to make an application, bring those consultants on board, the grant writers, as well as the engineers for a drainage project here in Floresville. So staff recommends approval.
Thank you, Mr. Munoz. Do I have a motion for this?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve authorization to issue requests for proposals for administrative services, RFP, and requests for qualifications for engineering services, RFQ, for application, preparation, submission, and implementation services for community development block grant for mitigation reallocation program funds as administered by the Texas General Land Office.
Motion made by Tina Flores. Do I have a second? Do I have any discussion on this? All in favor?
I got a question. On these drainage, is for the whole city or just part of the city, or what are we gonna be looking at? Everything?
That's a great question. Right now, we have HAP associates working on a citywide drainage plan. And what we're doing is we're identifying areas. In our old drainage plan that was done back in about the mid-1980s, there were 3 areas that were identified to the city, as we mentioned in previous agendas. So we would look at those and revisit those to see if there's still issues. But what we're looking at is to identify at least one project area where we can meet the 1.0 cost benefit analysis by the GLO as well as FEMA, to where it basically you're trying to remove as many households from a flood area as much as possible. And so one of the areas again was the Catarrama Park. Another one was off North 181 over where Angelicas is at. And that area both on the east and west side of 181. And the other one was back here just north of downtown where the school district administration offices are at. Those were 3 areas that were identified in 1985 as flood areas. And so we would look to see if the strength of those drainage projects meet the requirements for funding. We would also join with HAP to look at other areas as well that, since growth has happened significantly here in the city, to identify a project where we can remove as many households as possible from flood-prone areas.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that we go with the main problems first, come on now, because, And then again, I know it's a small one, the one I talked to you about on Blue Bonnet. And, I don't know if there's anything still rolling on that, but that's not on the agenda. What I'm saying is, I'm only asking because these drainage, there's problems all over the city, and I don't want you all to just say, okay, we're gonna do this one, versus something that needs to be really fixed. Thank you.
Well, I have a motion, and, all in favor? Yes. Motion passes 5-4-0. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve authorization to issue request for proposal for administrative services and request for qualifications for engineering service for grant community applications and implementation services for Texas Government Development Grant Program for fiscal year 2027 and for fiscal year 2028, and/or fiscal year 2028 Community Development Fund as administered by the Texas Department of Agriculture. City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. This is the same process as the previous agenda item, but this would be with the Texas Department of Agriculture. We're looking at two proposed projects. Number one would be for continuation of water line replacements throughout the city, as well as sewer line replacements throughout the city. The second one is to also look at engineering services to begin the process of a water filtration system through our storage area, our storage tanks in the city right now, to provide additional filtration. I know that we have a high sulfur content in water, so we want to look at filtration systems to help minimize that impact. And so we'd like to at least try to do two applications with the Department of Agriculture.
Thank you. Do I have a motion for this?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve authorization to issue request for proposal for administrative services and request for qualifications for engineering services for grant community application and implementation services for Texas Community Development Grant Program for fiscal year 2027 and/or fiscal year 2028 Community Development Fund as administered by the Texas Department of Agriculture.
Motion made by Ms. Barrera Dantu. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Second by Ms. Flores. All in favor? Motion passes 5-4-0. Item F, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve 2 new members to the Floresville Economic Development Board to include any reappointments of current members, appointments to fill vacancies and/or replace existing members.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and council members. The two that we have vacant, those selections belong to Councilmember Lambert and Councilmember Morones.
Well, can I have the floor now, please?
Yes.
Thank you. I know that, like I said, this was the one that confuses me the most, that it's state or whatever, but I know that in the previous, when we get members, we could get members from the county of Wilson County plus 10 miles out. I don't know if Mr. Lambert, that's what I was gonna ask him the question. But what has changed since? Did we vote on a policy? Or I'm trying to get, because I have people that wanna serve, they're from the county. I'm not worried about the 10 miles out. But I heard that about the FEDC. Now, we come with rules to say, okay, well, it still takes 3 votes to get a member. Okay, I'm fine with that. But what changes that we can change it to just city people, but we can't change it to county, or we can say it's a courtesy, but it's really not a courtesy because it got confusing the last time. Go ahead.
No. This question was brought up when, under the previous city attorney, when we adopted the policy. It was stated, the same question was stated to the attorney. The attorney did offer an opinion during that meeting that under your 4A board and your 4B board, the state requirements specifically state certain rules and regulations. The policy itself cannot change those state regulations. So therefore, you can select somebody on the 4B and the 4A outside of the city of limits. What the policy then references are those that are within, like your Parks Board, your Trail Committee Board, things of that nature. But if there is a state regulation that stipulates that the board has to be comprised by certain criteria, the policy does not conflict with that. It recognizes those requirements. And so those carry over into the policy.
So what is the policy? Can we get someone from the county, or we need to stay with somebody from the city? That's what.
No, the policy is very clear. On FEDC, you can get somebody from the county. But for your Parks Board or any small community type board that's not regulated by a state statute or a state law, then it does pertain to residents of the city.
Okay, I understand that, but my main concern with the FEDC, because the citizens of the city of Floresville, they know what's going on in the city, they don't want nothing to do with the boards. So we need more of a selection to go out to the county at least. They shop at HEB, they shop at our local stores, and I think that they should be able to give their opinion on the FEDC. But I was just confused. I come to one meeting, it's like, no city and all, and so I have a few people that told me that they wanted to serve, but they're from the county. But I gotta get back, and if, I know that y'all are in a hurry to get someone, but if we can wait, I don't know if Mr. Lambert has one or not, but my thing is, I want, if y'all can wait on mine to the next meeting. By the next meeting, I promise to have one, but right now, that was what I wanted to bring up about the policy. That confuses me that, no, people say, well, I like to serve, but they say that it's only city. So now you corrected it, that it was the city boards, I can understand that. But the FEDC, I know that on the FEDC board, we had a person from Sutherland Springs at one time. So, what, my question was, what has changed to just keep it in the city? So you answered my question. If y'all can wait for me for my next election, at least one more meeting, I'll have someone in place for you.
Mayor, Council, City Manager, if I may say something, I will go ahead, Mr. Morales, and resend the policy with the approved minutes, because this was approved in May 14th, the new policy. I'll resend it to everybody so everyone can go ahead and see where the change was.
And if you don't mind, if those policies that I'm asking for, whatever, give them to me in black and white, because I can barely see now, and my phone, I don't have a computer, I don't have no. But if you could just give it to me in an envelope, and, I don't know that it's not confidential that I don't carry it, so, thank you.
Yes, Mayor, I've got a comment. So we've been going this whole time because I've been definitely misled because I thought I was under the impression that we could only get in the city of Floresville. So I'm scavenging in the city limits and I couldn't find anybody. So I'm at all crossroads over here, but now thank you for the clarification. So also this goes for legal per our policy. It states, individual council members shall appoint one member of boards and commission with the seventh member being selected by the majority of council. So let me rephrase that. With the seventh member being selected by majority of council. Why does my individual pick have to be voted on by a large council when it clearly states just the seventh pick has to be voted on by the majority of council?
Again, sir, as discussed, it needs to comply with state statute. So state statute for the Economic Development Corporation provides that the governing body needs to approve the appointment. So that's why.
Could you send that to us in
Sure.
an email
And
or
that's
format, please, that way I can look at it? Thank you.
Councilmember Morales has asked for, and so we will be providing that.
Okay. Well, with that, I make a motion, Mayor, to table this item for tonight and revisit it at the August 12th meeting.
have a second?
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Lambert, second by Mr. Morones. Do I have any citizens' comments or? Council? All in favor? Motion passes 5-4, 0 against. Moving on to item M, consideration, discussion, and possible action to receive the city manager's state of the city operational report.
Mayor, we're gonna ask that this item be pulled from the agenda, please.
Do I have, no action? Have motion for no action? You don't need one? Okay. Item N, consideration, discussion, and possible action on the state of the city, including reports, concerns, observations, and updates related to the city administration and management, department operations, performance, staffing, recruitment, and employee retention, budget priorities, financial conditions, expenditures, and long-term fiscal planning, infrastructure, utility, streets, drainage parks, and capital improvement projects, economic development, business climate, permitting and community growth, public safety, emergency services, and code enforcement, transparency, governance, ethics, compliance with applicable laws, city policies, and the city charter, board, commission, and committee operations, citizens engagement, public communications, and responsiveness to residents, and any other matter reasonably related to the overall condition, operations, and future direction of the city.
Mayor, council, if I may change it, I amended this, it's actually, council member Lambert's requested this item.
So, Mayor,
Yes.
thank you. So I think this item, I put this on the agenda last week because of a really, really big transparency issue that the city, really the city council's been facing with the general public. So I put this on here because of that. And I wrote down something. So to the public, this item will be on the agenda for the foreseeable future to allow y'all a voice, to give y'all this opportunity to talk and be a part of something, and give us condition, give us guidance, and give us direction, because quite frankly, y'all are the ones that put us up here. Y'all are the ones that put us in these seats, so y'all deserve that voice. So, this is what I have to say. I think this is embarrassing that we've gotten to this point. It definitely looks to me that the council's hiding something, and we are censoring the people that put us up here. It needs to come to an end, and censoring council's own people. You know, we had our council comment taken away. It's on 1 week, off the next week, but what's the point of really being up here if we're gonna just be censored and not be able to talk and be able to get our points across and be able to listen to what the public has to say and move forward with that? You know, I think censoring the council to particular subject matters only hurts the city. There's no way we can get what we want the community wants to hear out if we can't even speak. And we also have an ordinance on it where comment periods for council is in there. It is 2024-013. I do not think it's right to take away opportunities for citizens to speak. 1 week we have public comment, the next we have it removed. We should be providing more ways. Their perspective for citizens, their perspective is critical to health and wellness for our city. Thank you. So my agenda item was to just give the public an opportunity to come up and speak if they have anything that they want to direct us on. So with that being said, but we did put citizen comment back on there earlier, so pretty much my agenda item is invalidated, so it's okay.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Some members of our city council are working hard to move our city forward. However, it seems that whenever we make progress on initiatives that benefit our community, we encounter challenges, whether from within the organization or from outside influences that can hinder those efforts. I would like to acknowledge our city manager, Mr. Munoz. In the 4 months or 5 months he has served in this role, He has accomplished more than we were able to achieve during much of the past 2 years that I have served as mayor. He has demonstrated strong leadership and maintains an open-door policy. He is always available to answer questions, provide information, and assist anyone who reaches out to him. I recognize that not everyone has chosen to communicate directly with him, and at times it seems that obstacles are being placed in the path of our progress rather than working together to find solutions. I want to work together as one team and focus on what is best for the city of Floresville and the people we serve. This is what I do. Thank you.
Real quick, then if I may just make a comment, it's on the decorum, this one is 1 minute, just so you know. It's right here, if you want a copy of this. It's 5 minutes on public comments, it's 1 minute on citizen comment. And that's attached on your agenda.
Speaking and regarding transparency, governance, ethics, and public safety, and whether this city truly serves its residents. The true state of our city is not defined by budgets, grants, or ribbon cutting. It is defined by whether residents can trust the law applies equally, and that records are not buried, they don't continue to disappear or just go in when we're not together. Domestic violence victims are already faced with nearly impossible odds. Their abuser often knows the system, carries a firearm, uses gaslighting, manipulation, and trauma bonding as weapons. Many recant not because the abuse didn't happen, but because they've been systematically broken and convinced that no one, especially the police, will believe them. Too often, we are all met with dismissal, redirection, and outright intimidation instead of protection. This council terminated the former chief for failing to properly document cases. 2 years and 8 months later, under a new chief, those same failures are still.
Thank you so much. Do I have any more comments or questions from our,
I'll leave a comment.
go ahead.
I think that the city manager is doing a great job. You know, the people, of course, out in the public just hear what's out there on social media, unfortunately. And then whenever you had the comments, the council comments, all you did was attack the city manager. You guys looked for ways to just demean him and just attack him. And, you know, you put out there that you're so concerned, you know, transparency and, you know, about the citizens and the budget and everything. We've had several budget workshops that neither of you have attended, not Councilman Morones, not Councilman Leffler. So, you know, if you care so much about the state of the city and the budget, I would think that you would take more interest in that. And a lot of things that were mentioned today, you claim to have no knowledge of, but the information has been given to you. Sounds to me like you don't even read it, you don't care. So, I mean, that's just an observation that I want to make.
Mayor, can I have the floor, please?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Well, like I say, you don't know the situation I've been going through. I've always taken pride in the city of Floresville. I have been serving 3 terms prior to coming to my 2nd term. This is gonna be my 5th term. It is my 5th term. And if the people didn't believe in me, they wouldn't vote for me. To this day, I say, vote me out, whoever don't like me. Only 350 people didn't like me on this election. So, he didn't have nobody against him. They still voted 800 people, more than 640 that voted for somebody else. You know, but my thing is, it's all out there. Vote me out, but I take it serious. You know, I've been going through some medical issues, but I don't have to explain that, but I want when they expose me to this hunky-dory and that you should be here in budgets, you know, what should have been on the budget was when they went up on the water rate. I don't know how many people are paying higher water rates. Oh, but it's okay. No, it's not okay for a grandma and a grandpa that's on a fixed income is paying $20, $30 extra. Then what did y'all say? Oh no, You use less water. Well, no, I'm here for the citizens. I don't have a problem with going up on things because everything goes up. But bring me, when I asked that lady, how much are we gonna make with this water rate and the sewer and all this stuff coming up? How much are we gonna make extra? You know what she said? $4 million more a year. I don't have a problem going up on anything, but give me a plan of what you're gonna do. Are you gonna fix that street? You're gonna fix that drainage? What are you gonna do for whatever, for what are you gonna do for the citizens, taxpayers of this community? Now, coming back to budget, why did they cancel the budget meeting? Because somebody can't come because they already counted the Lambert and Morris won't come. No. I've had issues, and I'm only gonna say them because they put me down that I'm not here for what, they don't know the health issues that I'm in for all they care. They say, instead of saying, hey, how you doing? Or waving at me at a restaurant and saying hi, they don't even say hi, they turn their faces. That's nasty and ugly. It's okay to agree to disagree. It's all good. But let me tell you something. I've been getting ultrasound from my bladder, from the colon, if that's what y'all want to know. Stuff like that. I can't come when they give you that medicine, but I'm telling you why I'm not here. But even if I was here, let me tell you something. I'll come up here and say, oh, what are we talking about? Oh, we're going to give to the workers $1 million raises, because that's what's going to come on their budget. And some of these employees deserve that money, but not the ones that are way up there. And if I find somebody, I got high blood pressure problems. One day I'm gonna fall dead here maybe, but it don't matter. But if I fall dead here for y'all, for the taxpayers, I'll fall dead. But let me tell you something. I've had health issues, but nobody's called. Nobody said, hey, Mario, we've been having a budget meeting. Are you okay? Can you attend? And they were so concerned. They called me to my regular number or whatever, city number, whatever they want. Have they called? And this man, he said that he's doing a great job. Maybe he is. We were supposed to get weekly reports. I got 2 reports that he wasn't going to be in the office or whatever. Fine, I got something. But he works for me. I don't work for him. So my thing is, talk to me. Even though you don't like me, whatever, talk to me. Tell me this is going on with tomorrow. This is what's going on in the city. I don't know what's going on. Look, I got 2 new workers. You would like to go have lunch or I'll pay for the lunch? A little simple call. But to say hunky-dory and that if I care, people know that if I care for this city or not. People know. And if, like I say, vote me out. But I guarantee you more people are listening what's going on here and they think differently. They always want to stop me. They, and for the mayor to say that I'm not for it, I voted on things here that needs to be fixing the drainage of all these thousands. I could say no, but it's a good thing. But let me know what's happening. Nobody lets me know what's happening. And I'm you know, the comments, I don't even look at the comments because you have that choice. And I hope Floresville opens their eyes. And whether the problem is me, get me out. If the problem is the rest, get them out. But get involved. Nobody wants to get involved. For $75, nobody wants to get involved in this business. Nobody. And for me to say, oh, I'm for this side, I'm for that hunky-dory that he was, I was never thinking that I'm in power. I'm for y'all. I'm for Floresville. And that's been 3 or 4 things that I thought that they were wrong on when they thought that I was on the other side. I voted against. Because I felt that the citizens that came in here and filled this place up, they didn't want what they wanted. Look it up. It's not about I'm on this side just because I say hi to somebody or I hang out with somebody. But if you really care about me, hey, what's up, Mr. Morris? We haven't seen you. You know, and you know one of the reasons I haven't come to the budget meeting? Because I believe that they should give me all the paperwork of what they're doing before, not right here. Oh, this is what we're going to work on. Give it to me, all of it, what they're proposing. That way I can study and make notes and question you. I haven't got one book, nothing over the budget. And if I'm going to come here for the budget, I care. People say, no, I need to go because the chief called me You make it a meeting, I told him I have a procedure I let it do. And, you know, I came that Wednesday for the meeting, but I was afraid something was gonna happen to me. I was wearing a pamper, I was wearing a pamper, I've been councilman when I was wearing a pamper. Huh? But I care for y'all, I care for the citizens, taxpayers, and I talk to them, and they get all, but I don't care. And if y'all ever wanna call me, y'all know my number, y'all can't get, call City Hall, y'all call me, we'll talk one-on-one. I don't have nothing against this man. He thinks I do. But he thinks it's good. He told us when he came here, he was gonna give us a weekly report. I got one weekly report, and if he say I'm lying, show them to me. Not one, and maybe I would've given him another 25,000, the mayor says, oh, he's doing a great job. Maybe he is. But let me see it in paper, oh, okay, well, let's give us 50. But I see nothing. Thank you, because I could talk forever, and I know people get frustrated. But I'm telling you, when they tell me like that, and I'm glad that they kind of attack me versus asking me, how you been, Mr. Morones? We haven't seen you at a budget meeting, but to throw me out in the public that I haven't showed up to budget meetings, totally wrong. Totally wrong, because I would have done something different. I wouldn't have seen somebody of my fellow council people. I would have called them and say, hey, I might have not called one of them, but I'll call the rest. Thank you.
Mayor, I have a comment. Thank you. Councilman Cantu, specifically Dora, you bring up a great point. Yes, I haven't been at the budget meetings, but as you're well aware, you do have a child that works in public service, right? Police officer. So I'm a firefighter, and that requires me to be and miss things, like miss birthdays, miss meetings, miss things. I would much rather be at a budget meeting, but I'm out there serving my community. So to bring that up. Second, you know, you say I'm attacking the city manager. I'm not attacking the city manager. I'm asking questions that you refuse to ask, and that citizens that want to be known and asked. Also, I ask questions, you know, and bring up different deals like the city manager told us when he got elected that he would never congregate with the council and never in an outside setting unless it was in council chambers or in a direct meeting or anything. Well, I've got constituents calling me that he's in Cerritos with the whole council and city staff last week, and that's why I bring these questions up, and this is why I bring it out. Because y'all deserve to know, and y'all deserve to know what's going on up here. Y'all deserve transparency. And that's why, and that's what y'all need, and that's why I ask the questions that I ask. It's not an attack. I have a respect for that man. I think he does his job. And that's all he can do, is do his job. So, with that being said, Mayor, I give you the floor. Thank you.
Mayor, go ahead. We need to confront the contradictions that are hurting this council's credibility. Since February 18, 2026, two council members have criticized our city manager at nearly every meeting, no matter the agenda or the progress being made. And now we have a request for a state of the city from a council member who joined the February 12th hiring meeting by Zoom, listened to executive session hiring discussion, but then dropped off before we returned to open session to take the vote. He did not vote for or against the hiring of the city manager. He was simply absent. He is a first responder, and while I respect that service, it has become the ongoing excuse for joining meetings remotely and conveniently dropping off when accountability is required. Meanwhile, under Mr. Munoz's leadership, he has delivered real, measurable results for Floresville. Under his leadership, he has modernized city operations and strengthened internal controls, updating items like cash handling, credit card use, time clock procedures, donation policies, petty cash and tuition reimbursement. These are foundational improvements that increase transparency, accountability, and financial responsibility. Underneath his leadership, he eliminated risky month-to-month contracts by pushing for formal RFQs for professional services, strengthening procurement integrity and protecting the city. Under his leadership, he created an audit review committee to comply with the city charter and improve oversight. I don't believe we've had that done before. Under his leadership and in partnership, or under his leadership, he has enforced long ignored nuisance and weedy lot ordinances, issuing notices, coordinating cleanup to grass overgrown lots, abandoned buildings, you name it. under his leadership, in partnership with Floresville High School, to launch a student internship program, giving our local students hands-on experience inside city government and building a pipeline of future leaders. And let's be clear, he's made all of this progress despite being ridiculed at every council meeting. Ridicule that could easily be avoided if council members took the time to come into City Hall and meet with him. Or at the very least, pick up the phone. The phone works both ways. The disruption is coming from the diocese, not from the staff. Our residents expect leadership, consistency, and professionalism. It's time to stop undermining the city manager's work and start holding ourselves to the same standards we expect from him. Thank you, Mayor. I yield the floor.
Mayor, can I have the floor, please, again?
So much, Ms. Flores.
Can I have the floor again, please? Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. You know why? I'm glad that he's doing a good job. If he's doing that, I don't know, but let me tell you, Francis, does he work for us or does he work for you? No, he works for us. You always keep telling me to come, that the door is open. Why can't he come to his bosses? And not, why can't he? Can you answer? But my thing is, y'all keep saying that the door is open. I can name you 5 persons right now that he has not responded to. But I will not bring that up right now. But I can bring him up in the next meeting that he has not responded to at least 5. I've called the city manager. And there's a few here that's called the city manager and he got back with it. But I'm not gonna put him on the spot right now. But my thing is, yeah, maybe he's doing a good job. I'm not here to knock him, but no report of any kind for me. I'm his boss. And y'all keep wanting to tear me up, but the people are gonna decide who is right and who is wrong. Thank you.
Mayor, Council, I'd like to speak as City Secretary. If I need to get written up, this is all on my own because I just want to remind everybody, we, the city employees, are tired of dealing with this. The whole disagreement, y'all know that we provide for our families this way. And I know there's a few people that send us emails, calls. I respond to every single one, but I will not tolerate demanding, disrespectful emails. I'm a human, I'm working my butt off, and this is ridiculous. It is. Y'all should be ashamed, because the city of Floresville, you're right, they don't see our side. What y'all hear, y'all come back and attack us. No one ever comes and talks to us. Mario, you never come anymore. You used to be here all the time, but you are on a side now. You can say you're not on a side all you want. We used to be friends, but elections tears everybody up. Every election year, I'm on the agenda to be fired, and everybody knows that's true. You know how hard it is every year to see if I'm gonna be having a job when somebody wins? I am on high blood pressure medication myself, so you know, as far as I know, that that's tough. My mother died at 58 years old from a heart condition. Guess what? I'm right behind her. So I would like everyone to stop, work together. There is how many people in the city of Floresville? Can anybody tell me? In the city limits.
Between 8,500 and 7,000.
How many people do we just hear from? The same group over and over and over. I hear from most of them every day. They are not fighting. They want something done. And we cannot get things done with all of this fighting. I understand everyone needs to be answered. We work hard. And no matter what y'all like, don't like, I don't care. Us as a group, I've always fought for my coworkers. The guys outside, we're all a mess. I'm finally gonna speak up for this because we are trying our hardest. And I do not care if y'all fire me. I will find another job. But it'll be a shame that I have to because I love working for the city of Floresville. Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
Still had a couple of questions here.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.